What is up, Earthnoids and Spacenoids? I am just a simple new type, and in this episode we are returning to Axis during Universal Century 0082 as we continue our coverage of Char's deleted affair. Last time, the EFF prisoners of war broke free and began hacking into the Axis control systems. Oksana became a prisoner, and all the while, Char and his team were out running training exercises. Haman went out and began fighting against EFF. In this episode, we will conclude the conflict between the EFF soldiers and Axis. Char will go to protect Haman and Axis as the stolen Magellan makes its way towards a shoal zone. So let's get into this. Haman is in the Schneeweiss fighting the stolen GMs. The EFF soldier continues spouting hatred towards her. Haman has never experienced this level of hatred directed towards her before. After the fighting broke out, Oksana was able to escape. She is trying to find someone to help, but no one is around. She eventually runs into a room where Axis soldiers have been hanging out for a few hours. They wonder how she was able to open the doors. She informs the soldiers that EFF prisoners have escaped. Eddie, the EFF hacker that stayed behind, removes the release locks from the Magellan-Class ship. They proceed to make their escape. Natalie informs Hines about the escaped ship. It seems they have no choice but to use Maharaja Khan's secret codes to reinitialize the Axis control system. Natalie tells Hines to give her 3 more minutes. Eddie tries to open the gate for the escapees, but Natalie is able to stop the hangar door from opening. Eddie can't make it to the ship in time. He is going to have to stay behind. He tries to crash the entire system. Natalie recognizes this. They have no choice but to get the Admiral to authorize reinitialization. Hines gets authorization. But before he initializes the code, Natalie tells him to stop. It appears that the hacker has been captured. It just so happens that Oksana and the soldiers that she rounded up were able to capture Eddie. Axis barely avoided nuking their servers, essentially. This is no time to rest, however. The command center sends out an emergency order to have all mobile suit pilots on standby. Back in space, Haman is able to destroy the GM. She chases towards the ship and remaining GMs. The EFF soldiers are able to destroy the hangar door and are able to continue their escape. Haman approaches the team, but she is unable to get close enough to use her beam saber. They are able to surround and capture her. They force her out of her cockpit and they take Haman as a prisoner. Char returns to the battlefield to see all hell is breaking loose. He finds the Schneeweiss with no pilot. On Axis, communications have finally been restored. Natalie is able to pick up Char's Gelgoog on the radar. She catches him up on the situation. Char chases and finds the EFF team with Haman. The EFF team tells him not to get any closer or they will squash her like a bug. Char will be unable to hit the mobile suits without harming Haman. This is quite a sticky situation he has found himself in. He can't let them dock with the ship either, or saving her will be even more difficult. Natalie blames herself for sending Haman on the battlefield. He wants her to send out a mobile suit team, but it is taking some time for them to launch. EFF loses contact with Eddie the hacker. They make their way through the asteroid belt. There, they will head towards the sun and hope someone finds them once they reach Mars. The Magellan tells the remaining GMs to dock with the ship. Back on Axis, systems are online and everyone is no longer locked in their rooms. Enzo goes and yells at the command center for letting this happen. He is afraid that he has lost face. They catch him up on everything that has been happening. Natalie apologizes to Ferdinand, the actual computer guy, but he tells her that she actually did a really good job. He takes over for her. Hines communicates with Khan. The Admiral allows Enzo to fix the problem that he created, but Hines isn't so sure. Back in the hangar, one of the GMs that Monica attacked is still there. They are using their Vulcans to prevent any other Xeon forces from getting close to their mobile suits. He is sacrificing himself to allow the Magellan to make their escape. The GM runs out of Vulcans. All that is left is the beam saber. Monica, in her Gelgoog, returns to the hangar to see that the GM is still there. She slowly approaches him with the intention of destroying her unit, but she is too slow. The GM takes out their beam saber and stabs itself in the chest, exploding the reactor. Char still chases the Magellan, but maintaining a good distance. Suddenly, a bazooka blast comes out of nowhere. In the distance is the Rick Dom Zwei. It is Racken. He comes in with the quickness. EFF assumes Racken doesn't even know that they have a prisoner. They fire directly at him. The Dom doesn't dodge, but rather rushes towards EFF. Racken is getting reckless, but he knows exactly what he is doing. As the team has their focus on Racken, that is when Char comes in and slices the GM's arm and grabs him on. He lets her drift off for a second while he fights the GM. Char uses the missile pods from the forearm. The GM blocks the attack, but the Gelgoog throws his shield. This distracts the GM and allows Char to slice through the mobile suit with his beam saber. Racken and Char regroup. It is time for them to now take out the Magellan. The EFF ship is moving fast and getting reckless. They are making the assumption that all enemies will be behind them. They spot a red Gelgoog. The captain wonders if this is the Red Comet. Char wants to pull Haman into the Gelgoog cockpit, but he can't because he never wears a spacesuit. Good job, Char. While they are talking, the Magellan fires on Char's Gelgoog. He is able to do his best Mulaflaga impression and tanks the twin megaparticle cannon blast. The ship is moving into the previous Axis battlefield, so Minovsky particle density is high. Char hands off Haman to Rakan so he can get into his cockpit. Back at Axis, Enzo orders everyone to fire on the ship and launch mobile suits against Natalie's advisement. The escaped ship notices this. The captain of the Magellan is hesitant because EFF soldiers are still on Axis, but he decides to fire on the asteroid anyways. They fire and hit Axis. Natalie suggests closing off all sections but infield. This will restrict all areas from being attacked except for the hangar carrying most of the mobile suits. They finally launch mobile suits, but it is too late. They are getting too close to the shoal zone. Maharaja Khan gets a hold of Natalie. She informs him that Haman went out into battle, but is currently safe with Rakan. She gets him in contact with Char. He wants him to use discretion with the current situation, but Char knows that this most likely is not possible. Most of his propellant is out as he used most of it during the training exercise. He looks over to Rakan and his bazooka. Once the Magellan makes it to the shoal zone, they will most likely cut off their thrusters. That is the only time that Char has to make his attack. Surely enough, as the ship makes its way into the debris, they cut off the engines. Char fires the bazooka and gets a shot right in the back of the thrusters, destroying the ship. Char says that this leaves a bad taste in his mouth. Andy and Ricardo are still out training. They see a giant explosion and make their way back to the asteroid. Everyone docks. Natalie awaits Rakan and Haman. Enzo makes his way to the hangar. They roll out Monica's body. She did not make it after the GM destroyed its fusion reactor. Char gets out of his mobile suit and heads directly to Enzo. He thanks Char, but Char punches him in the face. He puts Monica's death entirely on Enzo. Oksana is showing off a new hot springs that I guess she helped create. She is trying to create a retreat for those in Axis that needs to get away for a little bit. They're confused by the hot springs and weirded out that they are naked. She is expressing what most of the Western world's first reactions to getting naked in public around children typically is. You get used to it. Haman and Natalie is bumming Oksana out, so she goes elsewhere. The two still have the battle on their minds. Natalie once again apologizes to Haman, but she has come to terms with the battle. Natalie suggests that she stop fighting and go the path of being a politician, but Haman says that she has chosen her path as being a pilot. The two seem to begin opening up with one another. During the previous battle, 47 out of the 48 Federation soldiers involved in the escape attempt died. 4 Xeon soldiers were also killed in action, including Lieutenant Monica. Remember last video, Enzo mentioned that there wasn't a lot of attention put into handling the transition of EFF prisoners. Because of this, they held a court-martial for Captain Enzo, but he was able to argue that Admiral Khan gave Oksana access to military sectors, allowing the hackers to take control of the systems. In the end, he wasn't court-martialed, but given a 30-day no-pay suspension. Admiral Khan also had to take some blame as well. It is clear that the minimal efforts are in fact to try to get access to throw themselves into another war. They understand that Char is getting great support throughout the asteroid, and if more people lean towards the ideals of Char, they are essentially becoming pro-Maharaja Khan. The pro-ceasefire movement is stronger than those who seek war. It is up to them to actually take things into their own hands. They can't simply rely on incompetence to push the people of Axis towards war anymore. They plan on using the Zabi name to help them with their cause. On top of that, of course, Enzo's pride is hurt by Char, who even though they are the same rank, he is significantly younger than he is. Also, this asshole is holding a meeting and discussing treasonous acts while wearing a cardigan. And you know how we feel about cardigans. Get out of here with that. I can't take you seriously. Meanwhile, Haman and Natalie leave the hot springs, better friends than ever. And that will do it for this episode. Enzo's incompetence got someone killed, and his solution was to try to spin it on Khan's incompetence, and it worked. At least, there wasn't as much hacking as there was last week. That was ridiculous. Next time, a rumor will turn into the gang heading to Side 3, and Enzo will prepare an assault on EFF once again. Also, Haman will force Char to touch her boob. But that will do it for now, new types. Remember, getting naked in a hot springs and talking it out is the best way to become best friends. Peace.